Okay, so I've finished my turntail and I left that one stitch I did knit two together. You can see how it's angled this way. Whereas when I do the slip one, knit one, pass slip stitch over, they go this way. So it gives you a nicer angle on your heel because these are pointing this way and it just makes it nicer. Although this is a pretty square heel. Some of them tend to be more pointy this way. And it just gives it a nicer stitch definition. And another bit of information is that because we had to do 10 rows and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we're going to have to pick up 10 stitches. So if you're making socks for somebody who has a really large gusset area, which is this part here between the heel and the instep, some people have a very large area here. So what you can do is you can always add a couple more repeats on the heel flap, and then you'll just pick up that many extra stitches and get rid of them when we do the gusset. So it'll give you a bit more flexibility when you're doing your own socks for people with a large gusset. All right, and the other thing is usually when they say pick up stitches, they say looking at the right side. So if I were to look at my sock and I'm wearing it, this is the right side of my heel. And then these are my insteps and this is the left side of my heel. So yes, I'm starting on the right side of my heel, but I'm not going to start picking them up on the right side of my work. I'm going to look at the inside on the wrong side of my work. And I'm going to look at this beautiful braid I have here. Now it tends to want to curl inside. So that's why I'm looking at it from the inside of my work. So I can actually really pull it out as far as I can, right to the edge where I see just the left leg of the braid. The braid has a left leg and the right leg. And I just want to focus on the left leg. And I'm going to use a double pointed needle and just pick up all my left legs. And I should have 10 of them. So that's 3, 8. Or sometimes you have more than 10, which I have. In this case, I have 11. So it happens when you do a sample sock. You're not always paying attention. So I've just gone ahead and picked them up with a double pointed needle. And now I'm going to turn my work and work on the right side. So you see how my stitches are on leaning towards the right? This would be considered a stitch that's on the wrong way. A stitch that's on the right way is usually leaning towards the left. So it looks like that. It's leaning towards the left. But all my stitches, because of how I picked them up, are leaning towards the right. So I'm just going to, if I knit into the back, I'm going to create a hole, which I don't want. So I'm just going to go ahead and knit into the front. And I'm going to knit into the front of all of them. And that'll give me a really nice seamless joint or pickup of stitches that I will have here. So it's a good way of picking up stitches when you have knit stitches. And in the next video, I'll show you how to pick them up when you have a garter ridge. But then that's it. So you just pick them all up. Oops. Splitting my yarn. And then you get here and you have all your stitches nicely picked up, no holes, and they're all nice and even. There's no guessing work here. Then I would work across my instep and then come and pick up my stitches on the left side of the heel. Okay, so now I'm ready to pick up my stitches on the other side of the heel flap. Again, I'm going to look at the wrong side of my work, and I'm just going to go ahead and pick up the right leg this time of my V-stitch here. I'm going to pick up just the right leg. And again, I want to pick up the same number of stitches. Actually, it's easier if you come down from the bottom. And I'm make sure I'm taking it from I'm going to make sure I'm taking the last one here so that I'm not letting it roll in. I want to use that last leg that's right there. So I'm splitting it. And there we go. Now these are left slanting, so I'm going to want to twist them, and to do that I need to knit into the back loop of these stitches. If I were to knit into the front, look at the hole it creates. I don't want that. So even if I forget whether I'm knitting in the front or the back, I want to eliminate that hole. So to eliminate that, I have to come into the back and twist that stitch, and that'll eliminate that gap. So I'm going to knit into the back of all of these stitches till I get to my heel. And there we go. So now I've picked up all my stitches. It gives me a really nice edge. It's completely flat on the inside. There is no ridge or anything. It's perfectly flat. And now I'm ready to start working my gusset decreases. I usually put a marker in the middle here just to remind me of where my start of row is, just so that when I'm doing my decreases here and then here, I know that I do one round of decreases and then one round of knitting.